I've been driving monster trucks for 1 year, and this is my story.
Driver of Swampthing, Georgina Tells!
So the year is 2025, but the start of this story begins in 2022. So my dad, Tony Dixon, the main driver of the Swampthing monster truck, asked me to park the monster truck up, and this was the first time I ever drove it. A strange fact about this weekend, this was the weekend the Queen died, hence the UK flag on the back of the truck. Ever since that day, I was hooked on driving monster trucks, but I wouldn't get my next drive until 2023. Doing any form of motorsport requires race gear for health and safety reasons, so I made a stop off to Grand Prix Racewear at Silverstone to pick up my helmet, gloves, and hands device and boots. Now the main thing with the helmet is, with monster trucking there's a lot of G-force involved, and sometimes it's more actually than F1 drivers, but we only have it in short periods. They have it obviously prolonged amount of time. Now, my dad has been driving at this point for 20 years, and he recommended to me to get a carbon fibre helmet straight away because it helps your neck on all those impacts. So that's what I got. So I got a RS7 Bell helmet. So now I've got the race gear, it's time to do the monster truck driving test. Now it's a little bit different to your normal driving test, as you may imagine. In this driving test, it involves mainly knowing where the switches are in the monster truck for health and safety reasons, so you can turn it off in a safe manner if anything goes wrong, and also do it with your eyes closed, as sometimes you may not be able to see. Now you follow your crew guy around, giving you instructions on how to maneuver the truck, basically telling you where to park it and stuff, so you know how to follow their instructions, because on a monster truck, the visibility is rubbish. There's no mirrors, and on most monster trucks there's no reversing cameras. On some of the new ones there are, but after you maneuver it around a couple times, it is then time to do the jumps. Now on this time I was jumping with a metal ramp. Normally in our shows we use cars, but I was using a ramp this time. And then you do a couple jumps to test out what it's like to jump a monster truck, because at this point I've never jumped a monster truck at all. And after that, you either pass or you don't pass. Now luckily, I passed. Woo! So I'm now a qualified monster truck driver. But Swampthing, the monster truck, is all set up for my dad. And me and dad drive differently to each other. Now what that means is, for me to drive it comfortably, there needs to be quite a few changes. One of the cool features of monster trucks are that they have two different types of steering. You got the front steering and you got the back steerings. Now the front steering is on like a normal car with a steering wheel. Now the back steering or rear steering is on a toggle switch. Now in monster trucking there's two different preferences drivers have using the rear steer. Now my dad has it this way. So if you press the button to the right, the tyres will turn to the right, which you think that would make sense, but that means the truck actually turns to the left. Now this confused the hell out of my brain. So we needed to make a new switch just for me, so when I press the button to the left, the truck turns to the left. With the rear steer problem fixed, we still had two more issues to address. With a monster truck seat, every seat is bespoke to the driver. Now obviously, as you can imagine, me and dad are very different in size.
Ooh, that's kind of small.
Now one of the main problems I had was, because I'm small, I do not fit in the monster truck seat, so I needed sort of a booster seat, and that is what we made. At the same time, when I did my jumps in my driving test, my heels couldn't touch the floor. And you'll hear me go, ram, 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 when I land. That's not me doing it, that's my foot going. Which meant when I landed, my feet went everywhere. So as well as a booster seat for me, my feet also needed a booster seat. And now the next bit of equipment I needed was my very own fire suit. So we went over to Stand 21 to get a custom measured fire suit for me, and it came out fantastic. Have a look at this. And now the time is 2024, and this is the first time I've jumped a car, and this was at Truckfest Scotland. Now I only did the one jump, and I noticed very quickly something wasn't right. Turns out the booster seat we made wasn't ideal. So we had to go back to the drawing board and have a big think. So we had a thought and was like, right, what we need is an insert. So we called up the guys at Pro Seat. Now Pro Seat do Formula 1 seats. In fact, they done Lando Norris's F1 seat. So we knew it was in the right hands. So they came over to the shop, poured a seat insert for me, and we tested it out at the UK Monster Truck Nationals after the normal show was complete. As well as having the seat insert, we also tried something else that was a bit different. We got a Hybrid S, which is a different style of hands device, and we put that to the test as well. We was pretty happy with the results with the testing at the UK Monster Truck Nationals. So now, this is my very first show in front of a live audience at Truckfest Southwest. Now I was quite nervous for this because of course everyone's watching you this time. It's not just your family. It is everybody. So the nerves were high, but I just had to focus on what I was doing, focusing on the crew people, and making sure I hit the car dead straight. If you hit a car slightly wonky, you can actually roll it over quite easily. So I was trying my best to keep it dead straight, like I was saying. Now, I wasn't going crazy with the jumps, as of course it's only my first show and I need to get some good seat time in. So I was taking it easy, getting a feel for it, and I think I did quite well for my first show. The fans absolutely loved it. I was signing at least over an hour and a half, just signing and getting nice comments, which was absolutely amazing, which I didn't even think about when I started monster trucking. I just did it because I thought it was really cool. With the first show under my belt, I felt awesome. Getting to drive that truck is one of the coolest jobs in the world. Nothing can beat driving a monster truck for me. Now it's time for my second show of 2024. Now this is at Santa Pod's Flamin' Thunder. So it's a little bit different conditions. Instead of grass we're jumping on concrete, which concrete is harder than grass. So sometimes you can get more heavy landings with driving on the concrete. So that's something you've got to account for when you're driving monster trucks, is what type of surface you're driving on, wherever it's grass, mud, wet grass, because that can be quite slippy, and concrete. And obviously you adjust your driving style accordingly. Now, obviously, like I said, first show's done. I'm feeling a lot more confident now. Got the nerves brushed off and I'm ready to do some actual cool jumps, because those jumps in the first show were cool and all, but they're a bit rubbish. So I was trying to do a little bit better this time round.
I'm not coming to you first this time. I'm not, because I really need to speak to Georgie. We've known each other since you was a baby, and to see you behind the wheel of a monster truck makes me a proud man. Thank you so much for having the guts to do it. How do you feel?
I feel a bit nervous, but I reckon I can do it.
I'm sure you can. The way you were warming that truck up there was incredible. To feel that power, it just must be fantastic.
It's definitely faster than my road car, I can tell you that.
I'm sure it is.
So that was the hard bit done, the interviewing. Still getting used to doing that. I'm normally a really shy person, so trying to speak in front of loads of people does get quite nerve-wracking, but I'm getting the hang of it. But now it's time for the jumps. Now at this show you do 2 jumps each per truck. So let's have a look at what Gary Anderson did on his first attempt.
Are you ready? Help me come down then for 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hit it.
a really good first jump from Gary. Now it's time for my turn.
3, 2, 1, go Georgie!
That was a pretty good jump from me, almost cleared the cars and nearly got a slap wheelie. Now it's time for Podzilla again. I saw Podzilla's last jump and I was like, oh my goodness, that was huge. And I thought, how am I going to top that? And then I remembered, this is the last jump of the 2024 season, so I have to do something special.
3, 2, 1, hit it! Before I ask any questions, I just want the first word from Georgie. What do you think?
Big.
Big! It was big! It was big! Did you plan it to be that big?
Yeah, for my last jump of the year, I wanted to go really big.
Well, you did. That was a perfect landing, perfect approach. Everything was great. We are so proud. I mean, an emotional moment for me, because you know what I think of you and your family and everybody connected with Swampthing. You're a bit special to us all. That was absolutely amazing.
So that was the end of 2024, and I finished it off with a ginormous jump. Now let's get into 2025. So now the year is 2025, and this is my first full year of being a monster truck driver. As well as doing the normal jumps, I wanted to learn a new trick called a donut, where you get the truck and spin it on the spot. Now I play a game called BeamNG Drive, and there's a mod called Beam Monsters, which allows you to play monster trucks, but in a video game. But it's so realistic that the Monster Jam drivers use it to train. So I had a practice doing the stunt, and turns out it's just like the real thing. So now I'm on grass again for the second time. Let's see how I get on. Now this jump almost went over, but I had to correct the steering to make sure it didn't tip over. So I steered into the roll. If you steer against the roll, you actually tip over.
A lot of poo shot out, man!
So you saw me just do my amazing donut. Now the next skill I want to add to my skill list is a slap wheelie. This is one of my favourite moves a monster truck driver can perform. It's where you land after a jump and you get it into a wheelie straight away. Now performing a slap wheelie requires a lot of skill. It's all about how you land, the reaction time of catching it into the wheelie because you've got to apply your throttle, but also you don't want to be too eager and apply it too early because then you can snap axle components. So performing a slap wheelie is a lot harder than it actually looks. But here's the first time I ever did it, and I was so happy and so proud of myself, and also my dad absolutely loved it. As I've done quite a few shows now, my confidence level is getting bigger and bigger, and it's allowing me to do the bigger jumps because I feel way more comfortable driving the truck. So check this out. This is at Truckfest Malvern, and this is when I was letting loose. So as you can see, I'm getting quite confident at hitting the car's side on, but now I got thrown a curveball. We arrived at Monster Slam, and with Monster Slam we got the Big Pete monster truck team, and they hit the cars head on with the bonnets, and we obviously do the side on. Now, when you hit the cars head on, you've got sort of less wiggle room to line it up, because if you imagine a monster truck tyre is the width of their bonnet of the scrap car. Also, when you hit the cars with the bonnet orientation, it feels like you're not hitting the cars at all. When you hit side on, it's more of an impact to the driver. So that's something I haven't experienced yet. So this is how I got on. Now, one thing I didn't get right was the approach speed, because I'd never done it before. I was thrown off to it, so I was taking my time to line it up and do a jump, but obviously the jumps weren't that big. But in the future, with a bonnet orientation, I could try a bit harder. Okay, so now we're back at Scotland, this time for 2025. And this is one of our biggest shows of the year. Thousands of people come to this show, and it's also one of our biggest arenas we perform in our season. Now, I was quite looking forward to this one, like I said, because it's got a big arena. And also, I need to try out third gear, because a monster truck has 3 speeds. And normally we do jumps in second gear. But this time round, I wanted to check out third gear because I had an upcoming race at the Monster Truck Nationals. As you can see, I absolutely sent the monster truck up into the sky. This is the biggest jump I've ever done before, and it felt amazing, flying high in the air. And time slows down when you're that high in the air. On this jump, I hit it in third gear again, but it flew mid-air and it went wonky, so I had to steer into it mid-air to try and catch it on the landing so I didn't tip over. With Scotland done, I felt absolutely amazing. Doing those big jumps filled me with so much confidence, and we're going straight into the Monster Truck Nationals. For the Monster Truck Nationals, I was doing the racing segment and my dad was doing the freestyle. So for the racing, we had to do 2 qualifying passes to get our rough time from each lane. Now, unfortunately, the truck was plagued with problems for me for doing the racing, so I had no rear steer, so I could only really turn with the front wheels. With this racing course, you definitely need the rear steer to be working, so I was pretty much screwed. But I did have one thing: I managed to lead the line fastest than any other driver at the show. With the UK Monster Truck Nationals over, it's time to head off to Wales for another Truckfest show. Now at Wales, I did a really cool slap wheelie. And I also did a jump and it had a funny landing and it kicked me right over to the side, so I had to make a really quick save. And now we've gone full circle. We come back at Truckfest Southwest. This was obviously my first show I've ever done with a live audience, and now I'm coming back for the second time to give it my best shot. Another cool thing is, this is the first time I've been on TV, on ITV News.
Georgina Dixon, you're one of the drivers of that monster truck. Your dad's out there at the moment. What's it like driving that truck?
It is the most amazing thing I've ever done. It's really loud. I wear earplugs, he doesn't. But when you jump them cars, it's the best feeling in the world. But this time last year was my first ever show with a live audience. And ever since then, I've got bigger and bigger. I'm actually out jumping my dad now.
Tell you the truth, I'm kind of disgusted right now.
Now, the first show I did, unfortunately, it was raining. And this is the first time I did a show in the rain with grass. So I was taking it steady. But check out this really cool skid I did at the end to show the public how slippery it actually was. And for the second day, the conditions dried up, so I was back to normal and ready to hit some big jumps. And this is the best slack wheelie I've ever done. I got it really close to the wheelie bar and I was looking directly at the sky. It was amazing. So as it's a year since my first show, I thought I'd just go back and show one of the jumps from that first show and compare it to now. Now as you can see, I've improved loads since through my first season. I'm just going to give you a mini montage of some of the highlights. So we're at the end of the video and this is my first full year complete. If you're new to the channel, we do full videos of each show we go to, and that's what I use all the clips from to build this video. So if you want to check out more about our channel, we got loads of videos per shows, and also you see my dad driving. So this mostly was just me this time. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.
Suck me in the smoke.